Certainly dropped against Mississippi, so that needs to turn in, but that's going to be a bit too late, I think. Definitely too late. You can see the torpedoes there, that's 2 already. Rather nasty. Could we get anything else on some flooding there? Hello everyone, welcome back to War on the Sea, where we are in, once again, rather a pickle. Take a shot every time I start an episode with saying that. We have had to send back the majority of Task Force Hammer, had to send back the North Carolina, and as a reminder, that is going to take 21 days to fully repair. We did take a lot of damage in the last few battles from bombing runs and from the surface battle we fought in the previous video. So that is going to take quite a while to repair, and we won't be seeing the Hammer come out anytime soon because of that. I don't want to send anything out without a battleship because of the massive amount of battleships the enemy has. So we are still going to try and get supplies out at least to Reno Island for now, so that we can bounce from Reno Island over to Guadalcanal or Florida Islands over there and get some sort of base set up in the central main objectives over there. So we do only have Task Force Thunder to help them out there, which does have 3 standard class battleships, but if we do run into Yamatos, we're going to have to be very, very careful. We do know Yamatos are about, as well as some very nasty carriers from the Japanese. So, yeah, that's the plan today. Look after our supplies, play a little more passively, a little more defensively. It's not what I like to hear, but unfortunately can't go rushing in and playing too risky with only the 1 task force out at the moment. So let's get going and wish us luck. Well, we are in position to finally land our initial supplies onto Guadalcanal, and that's going to take 11.4 hours. So we're going to leave at 800 hours in the morning. And we're going to do the same with Task Force Thunder to screen. We're just stopping here because we have got a radar alert, despite it being late at night, saying there is quite likely a carrier task force about. So that we do know there are certainly still enemies about patrolling Guadalcanal. We are going to move in at the allotted time, though, as we've planned out ahead, despite that. So the idea is to get the supplies in roughly overnight, so that we don't have to worry so much about the enemy aircraft from the CVs about and such. And they haven't upgraded their airfields there, so that's not so bad. But that should mean we can get in and out somewhat okay, as long as the enemy don't scout us out, which I'm sure they will do with any planes about during the daytime. Well, it did not take long for Task Force Thunder to be intercepted by incoming dive bombers here. So we do have a few flights of Vals. This shouldn't be too much of a problem. We are going to turn away from them at 21 knots, of course the max speed of our battleships over here. We do have a fairly decent formation. I think I do like the battle line formation. We did try a convoy type formation, but that left us open to some nasty submarine attacks onto our battleships. And this is the best we can come up with so far with what we have available to us. But you can't cover all bases with every single task force, can you? So this is going to be decent for anti-air. We just need to watch out to see where these dive bombs are going specifically. Well, it doesn't take a genius to think they're going towards our battleships, does it? And that does appear to be the case with the Mississippi over here in the number 9 position. That is backed up by an Atlanta very, very close to it. What we're going to do is actually move in a little harder to start. We're going to move into the aircraft here, and Juno can actually move out to starboard as well, so it does get that broadside onto the incoming planes over here. Having said that, doesn't look like they're going for the New Mexico perhaps, or even the Tennessee behind, which is rather interesting. So I don't need to worry about that so much. Have lost a Val already, as they bloody should do in all of this fire. They are diving, and of course we can shrug off 1 or 2 bombs from Vals, and that's that 1 flight dealt with there. There's the next one going. Looks like they're going for the leading USS Savannah, perhaps. Is the destroyer interesting? Well, we will increase your speed where possible. Turn around as well. Just give that something to think about there. Of course, they lose a plane after they drop. And that is 2 direct hits onto our bow, and that has hurt the magazine, unfortunately. I'll get that round actually onto the flooding. How we're doing over here, this final group. Just about getting that before they drop there. So we're going to tell everything to slow down to a halt and get on top of that damage with our damage control parties, because that will not be the end of any incoming enemies, of course. It looks like the enemy's trying to intercept us with a somewhat minor task force, if this is indeed what we think it is. Yeah, okay, so what is rather interesting is, of course, the surface group is not alone. It does instantly have some torpedo bombers escorting it, and that is going to make this particular battle that much more difficult. So we are going to lay smoke for this. And we're going to keep our flak going out for that, which does mean the destroyers and the Atlanta cannot participate against the surface group. But that's absolutely fine. We can certainly fire on a few ships with our battleships and other light cruisers, the Brooklyns. So we do have a few destroyers at the front of this formation. Some of the usual 3 destroyers there. We have another Sendai, which we're going to fire at, of course, with the Brooklyns. If we fire at that now, and we will fire absolutely everything there, we'll go for Sendai there. How many of those have we sunk now? Feels like quite a few. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's about it. Alright, fair enough. Felt like a lot more than that. And we will focus fire with our battleships onto the Myoko over here, which is backed up by a Alba. So we'll focus on the Myoko, like we said to begin with, though. Let's go for that. Fire out a P. Thank you very much. But we'll get our secondaries onto the lead destroyer, I think. Because why not? We will actually put our main battery guns on to spotting fire, but we will of course identify this. I think we'll go for, or if we're not gone for a while, we'll go for a Sashio to begin with there, and the Tennessee can do the same. So Myoko spotting fire with main guns, secondaries can fire out onto a Sashio there. Make sure we're doing exactly that with the targetings there. Yeah, we certainly are. And the Mississippi can do exactly the same. Once again, main battery guns, spotting out over here. We'll take the second alternative director with our secondaries there. But they don't need to spot. So that leaves our Philadelphia to aid against the Sendai, which we will fire everything else on there. So how's our position? We will want to start turning out, I believe, because of those oncoming torpedo bombers, and that's going to make things rather difficult, of course. So Juno, I think, can turn out already. That can act independently, start turning out over here. Mississippi's going to have to start turning in as well. That does mean we do get a full broadside onto the enemy, and the Plunkett can follow up as well. Radford can move out as well. I think actually Radford, Philadelphia it is, and the Livermore can go in a line formation there. Increase their speed to 28 knots for now, and actually move out over here. Fletcher can move out as well. Give us some room there. Tennessee might have to move out as well. I think that can keep going around over here, as it is with the Savannah and New Mexico. Just going to put the firing onto the enemy onto the back burner, I think, for now. Although they have stopped, interestingly enough, pretty much. Rather interesting. Very interesting indeed. I have to watch out for that. The torpedoes will be the main threat to begin with. Try and get a harder turnout over here. Plunkett can just carry on as it is. Getting some fair near misses actually against this Myoko. I'll happily take that. Hold fire with our battleships actually. And that includes the Mississippi over here. Wait for them to reload. How are we doing against these? We have down one at least. So that's something. They are coming in very, very close now. Have to wiggle our Mississippi a little more. I can't see a bloody thing through this smoke. Gonna have to move around a bit more, I think. How are we doing? Certainly dropped against Mississippi, so that needs to turn in, but that's going to be a bit too late, I think. Definitely too late. You can see the torpedoes there, that's 2 already. Rather nasty. Could we get anything else on some flooding there? Yeah, turn in against these. Juno can turn round. Looks like they've dropped towards New Mexico as well. That's going to take a hit. Yeah, that's rather nasty, but it is on the torpedo bulge there. Livermore's going to have to worry, I think, as well. Should outrun them. But there is a second aim coming in over here, and Tennessee might actually get hit as well. Let's turn around a little bit more for that. New Mexico's probably just dodged these torpedoes here. No, it really hasn't. Oh no. Oh no, 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 no. No, 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 no. Let's keep turning out like this with Tennessee here. How are we doing with Miyoko? That is still going rather slowly. It is picking up speed though, so we're going to fire us a little further around there. Plunkett's taking some damage as well apparently. Never good, just gets on the fires there. What am I doing with these torpedoes? Tennessee's just going to have to turn around like this, I think. Not liking that whatsoever. You can see the Sendai is taking some shots there. Where's our Mississippi? So I think now we can turn off auto fire flak with everything and actually get some shots out with our destroyers. Well, a few of our destroyers are now taking some damage. We have the Plunkett and the Radford taking damage, so we're going to put those onto smoke at the moment and just double check what our damage control pass is doing. Need those on fires and flooding where possible, but it's only going to take a few seconds for this one to finish on the magazine/cargo area, but we are going to pull out a tad and actually fire onto these two ships over here, because that's well, the Alba's not firing at this particular formation, but this particular destroyer certainly is. So we're going to change that on over, and we're going to identify that as, let's go for a cargo once again over here. Philadelphia is firing also the Sendai, but that doesn't appear to be too much of a bother at the moment. I'd rather just focus fire over here for now. What we can do is actually build up a solution on there with both directors and get going there. And get the Livermore to fire onto said cargo as well. Watch out for our solutions on that to see if that really is a cargo. What we're doing with the Plunkett, that does need to move away, but it's going to move into the Mississippi, unfortunately, if that's the case. Miyoko is finally sinking, which means we can start focusing onto the Alba with our battleships. We will fire some spotting over there. And we will go with our secondaries as well. Let's go to CA and Alba, identify that, go with New Mexico as well, which has taken some damage as you can see. Sendai is going down already, so that's excellent. So that's absolutely fine to move our Brooklyn over to that. Let's get Tennessee onto Alba there as well. And Tennessee must actually want to turn around, so that does get a better broadside on there. We are firing onto the Asashio with our Juno. It does actually appear to be a Asashio with the high solution. Absolutely hammering that there. We did fire some torpedoes leading up towards this Asashio, hoping that the enemy formation would follow that. They're clearly going to miss. Not to worry, we tried. Plunkett does, of course, need to get out. How's that looking? Can't move anything onto any more flooding, unfortunately. We have lost pretty much the bow of the ship there. But things do seem to be calming down. That Sendai down and that Asashio really struggling. There's not a lot else we do. We need to move the Savannah, actually. We'll get that onto Kagado, if that is indeed Kagado. Fire HE onto that. So I don't think we're firing HE, actually, with the Philadelphia. So let's get onto that, because AP's wasted pretty much on destroyers. That is going up to 70-ish solution, so I would keep that as a Kagado at the moment, I think. Asashio is finally sinking, so we can move the Juno onto the closer Yugumo over here, I think. Is that in fact a Yugumo? I'm not too sure. Let's find something which is firing at that, and that does appear to be a Yugumo with the higher solution there. I think what we'll do is actually get the Mississippi's secondaries onto that. Have we lost the director there? No, we haven't. Just not deciding to target that, so that's all good. Suits us fine there. We don't need to use spotting fire on that. What we can do is maintain a somewhat neutral position on that. Turn around a little heavier with the Tennessee there. New Mexico should be firing at Alba there, so that's all fine. I think we turn to broadside that a little bit more. We are getting some near misses. Looks like we've possibly ruined the number 2 turret there, because it's not trying to get an angle on us. We are getting some hits onto this Kagado as well. Yeah, definitely getting a hit on it there. Lovely magazine explosion, completely engulfing us in flames there. Really useful for that. We do need to absolutely obliterate this task force so that it's not a threat to our supplies, of course. I will just focus everything over to this Alba now, just to make sure that goes down quicker. Destroyers will pretty much just tickle that, but we need to make sure that's going on, don't we? So get some AP onto there as well as the secondaries. How's that Yugumo going? We are getting some hits on there from the Juno. Atlanta, as you'd expect, really good at hammering destroyers. That is, of course, its main purpose. How is this Alba looking though? Because there's not a lot really going on with that. Let's take a report. Where are we? Alba, critical to critical, so it's worse than it looks, which is good. We will need to review the damage of our battleships, though. I think we can live with this. We did largely get hit on our torpedo bulges, and the rear of the Mississippi is just general compartments, but that does mean our speed is somewhat reduced. And that's actually quite the malice over there, considering we do have fairly low maximum speed. We are now getting some very good hits, and that Alba is in fact sinking. So it's just this Yugumo left, and that should go down in good order. There we are, actually firing out with everything. And the Plunkett's recovering from some damage. Was it the Fletcher taking damage? It was the Livermore and Radford, wasn't it? And they're not so bad now, they're certainly recovering. Well, we did end up leaving that engagement a little too early. I'm expecting the Yugamos to actually get scuttled. I just want to think about saving a bit of our ammunition for our destroyers and such, just because we are certainly going to get intercepted by enemy aircraft, I would guess, and we are taking some rather nasty damage already. Very nice 10 command points, once again very much needed, and it does hopefully clear the way for our surface ships to come into Guadalcanal. But we do know that there is a second task force out there, still denoted as an enemy aircraft carrier task force, so there will be planes about. That last torpedo bombing run should not be the end of them. Well, we have made us ahead of schedule for our supplies task force, because we did launch them off a tad earlier than planned, just to make sure we do get out under the cover of night. So we are going to unload all of our cargo at the moment. That is just supplies for now. So that means Guadalcanal has 4.2 thousand supplies over there. So we're certainly going to bring over that many troops from Rennell Island, and we are able to do that in just a couple ships, I believe. Just the 2 Macaulays should be able to do that. So that's going to take, let's say 10 hours, round that up to 10 hours to get over there, and then another 10 to get back, of course. We have told Task Force Thunder to go back to the New Hebrides to, of course, rearm and possibly repair a few ships, looking at the torpedoed ships, of course, which is rather nasty indeed. We do, of course, still have quite a long time to wait for a lot of our ships out here, although the Colorado will be able to come back, so we might be able to swap that out for a damaged New Mexico, maybe. And on the next day, you can clearly see that we're not exactly out of the woods yet. We are going to just bring up all of the troops and supplies that we can do. Just reminding myself of exactly what we do have supplies-wise already on Guadalcanal. So it's about 4.2 thousand. Let's go to manage cargo here. We'll go straight to our troop carriers. And we will bring up all of the troops possible on there and fill everything out with supplies, of course, as per the plan. We'll still not quite have enough supplies, I don't think, for a long engagement on Guadalcanal. But we'll certainly have to start thinking about bringing things in with Task Force Thunder, or anything we can bring out from the remainder of Hammer as well. Might just mix anything we don't send back from Thunder with the remainder of Hammer at the moment. But we do, of course, see a possible battleship task force over here, and I think we are just going to scout that out to see exactly what that is. But we will be saving this for the next video regardless. And that is, yeah, that's the last thing I wanted to see there. The Yamato task force from right at the start of, I think, yesterday's video is back. That's not going to go away until we destroy us, of course, and we have very limited resources to deal with this at the moment. So yeah, we're going to chicken out of that right at the moment, because it's very close to our supplies task force. We're going to run away from that, and that is going to have to be left until the next video, unfortunately, because that is unfortunately all we have time for today, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you very much for watching. Once again, I hope you have enjoyed the video. Been rather intense. One to get you frustrated, I think, with those torpedo hits. But, you know, that's how it goes sometimes, isn't it? So, yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you in the future. May all of your nights and days be auspicious. Goodbye.